Announcing the commencement of the first purge.
I want you to change the world, and don't think that this is going to happen peacefully or you can do it alone. We need to kill the rich. You get out there, you use your weapons, and you rip Washington apart. You hunt down the billionaires, the bank bosses, the CEOs, the scumbags, and the liars, the governors, the lobbyists, the senators, because they're all the same, and you hang them.
Just remember all the good the purge does.
Good afternoon, everyone. It's May 15th, 2020. I'm Eric. How's everyone doing this afternoon? I hope you're well. As you can see, I got a few tabs open here, and there's a lot of shit going on, right? Today is the day they begin their debating on H.R. House Resolution 6666. And as many of you probably already know, there is a lot of unpleasant things for us in that House resolution. So we're going to see exactly what the conservatives are made of. We're going to see exactly what your Lord and Savior Donald Trump is made of. And I propose to you that he's not a whole lot better than the previous presidents, going back very far. So, but this one I will bring to your attention right off. Cop who hid while Parkland students were slaughtered wins job back, plus back pay and overtime. Isn't that nice? Isn't that heartwarming? And I'm only going to hit the very, very beginning of this to refreshen your memory of who I'm talking about. The Parkland, Florida police officer who sheltered behind his car while nearly 20 students were shot and killed will be reinstated to his job. His union announced this Thursday. An internal investigation last year determined that Miller neglected his duties when he responded to shooting reports at Marjorie Stoneman Douglas High School of February 14th, 2018. He failed to coordinate or direct deputies' actions and did not direct or coordinate an immediate response into the school, a state commission eventually ruled. His name is Brian Miller. If anyone would care to troll the shit out of him, that would be nice. But he was initially suspended and ended up being fired in June of last year. So, I wonder how this guy's going to be acting now. I can't imagine that he's going to be all that pleasant to deal with. How about you? But, you know, this is the person that people called hero before that event. And that hero hid like a coward while innocent people were being gunned down. Right? Remember that? Alright. thought I'd point that out to you. Yeah, before I get to this one, let's hit these headlines. That will be the last thing here. Gunman with scope rifle kills elderly couple visiting son's grave. Media yawns. Now, I haven't covered that shooting down there. I believe in Georgia. I'm not 100% on that, but I believe it was. Where a father and son shot a black guy. I haven't said anything about it simply because I don't know enough to say shit about it. I'm not going to automatically assume that it was racially motivated. But I'm not going to automatically assume it wasn't. We have problems in this country, right, where black people and white people in some instances don't like each other very much, and they do bad shit to each other. However, statistics show that black on white crime is far more prevalent, violent crime, that is, murder, armed robbery, this kind of thing. And black people have been joining hate groups at a much, much higher rate. So, and I might get banned off of YouTube for saying something like that, but it really is the truth of the matter. I'm not a person that's fixated on what race somebody is. I really don't give a shit what race you are. If you're an asshole, you're an asshole. It doesn't matter if you're a black asshole or a white asshole. Fact is, an asshole is an asshole regardless of what color they are. So, there's that. The ABC News, NBC News, CNN, and the New York Times spent an entire week headlining the shooting of Ahmaud Arbery and playing up the racial angle, but they've all ignored the shocking murder of an elderly white couple by 29-year-old Sheldon C. Francis, which many suspect may have been a racial revenge murder for Arbery. And last summer, my prediction was that more white people would be attacked in racially motivated crimes. And that ended up happening. It just wasn't covered by mainstream media. And I really think that this year it's going to be even worse, simply because, number one, this here, the Arbery case, and the fact that they believe white people are putting their communities at risk by opening up, by lifting these stupid lockdowns. And so there's going to be a lot of hate this summer, okay? And probably it's going to be too bad for mainstream media to be able to ignore. So, thought I'd point that one out to you. FBI serves a warrant on senator in an investigation of stock sales linked to coronavirus. You might remember that a lot of them senators benefited by knowing in advance what was going to take place and acted on it, selling their stocks. Well, that's insider trading. That's a crime. And this is something we should be very, very concerned about. McConnell Patriot Act expansion would explicitly permit the FBI to collect records of Americans' internet search and browsing histories with no warrant. Of course, they already do this anyway, right? And we all know what the solution to this problem is. It's to collapse the government completely, not leaving one agency left. That is the solution. Trump will mobilize military to distribute coronavirus vaccine when it's ready. Oh, really? Oh. H.R. 6666. This is a very telling sign that he probably will be putting his name on this bill. Okay? But President Trump says he would rapidly mobilize the U.S. military to distribute a coronavirus vaccine once it's ready, focusing first on nursing homes and the elderly, most vulnerable to the deadly complications from the virus. Mr. Trump made the comments during an interview with Fox Business what is that? Bartimo? I don't know. Some of these fucking names I just can't tell you. And that's not a good thing for us. Neither one of these. Do you see where this is heading? I mean, the Patriot Act in itself was bad enough. Is bad enough. But they just keep adding to it, adding to it, adding to it. And when is enough enough? When is it time to put an end to all of this? You know my opinion. It was time back when J.P. Morgan and the rest of them was debating or coming up with their plan for a central bank there at Jekyll Island. That's when shit should have been taken care of. And since then, it's gotten worse and worse and worse. And here we are, a little over 100 years later, and our economy has collapsed. Our culture, our way of living is going to completely collapse. And we're on the verge of a hunger pandemic. And we got control freaks who think that they're going to just be able to inject people with a hastily thrown together vaccine and using the military. Right? And we have mainstream media encouraging black on white, racially motivated attacks. Tell me, what kind of summer do you think this is going to be? Alright. Those who planned the enslavement of mankind warned of a dark winter for us. And this one is from Max Lavo. Yeah. You know you're getting old when your eyebrows start getting crazy and you see them in your field of vision. You know you're getting old then. Just a heads up. And this is one of dozens of reasons why we should have taken care of these elitists a long time ago. If we would have made the consequences of this mindset so horrific as to make people cringe when they think of it, do you suppose we'd have the problem with these elitists? Why does somebody like Bill Gates need to amass so much wealth in the first place? What does he need that much money for? I mean, fuck. $100 million to set you and your family for the rest of their lives. What do you need anything beyond that? The elitists who planned this scandemic from the beginning are now warning us that we are going to face a dark winter. Ooh. This is not about health, and hasn't been from the beginning. This is about control, and they are trying to use fear to manufacture your consent to enslavement. Now, yesterday, I checked out a video from Florida Marquis, and I was going to troll the fuck out of him because of his title. This is why we should vote Biden in November or something like that, right? And I was going to troll the fuck out of him, but the idea he put forth wasn't too bad of an idea, except that one of these billionaires could easily soften the consequences for Joe Biden. Now, his notion was you couldn't find a more beta male than Joe Biden, a more spineless bastard than Joe Biden. And so it was his thinking that he can be muscled around by the people. Except that when you have people like Bill Gates and George Soros, Warren Buffett, the Koch brothers, I can go on and on. When you have these kind of people throwing money at them, they're not going to act the way the public wants them to. I mean, we see this every presidency. How many presidents does it take before people get the fucking idea, the reality, that these people are bought and paid for, and no amount of pressure from the public is going to stop it? And I mean, political voting pressure, okay? Protests. People want to protest, and that's all good and dandy, except they don't listen to the protests. In fact, in most instances, they send out their goon squads to crack down on the protests. Now, I'm not saying protesting has never done any good. That would be a bald-faced lie, but, look at the state of things and then think about that. Straight from the biggest player in propaganda and fake news, CNN, comes an article designed to terrify. It says Rick Bright has warned Congress of the darkest winter in modern history without a ramped up coronavirus response. Meaning, unless you submit to even more tyranny and fully enslave yourselves to the ruling class, it will be a dark winter. And one of the most peaceful ways we can eject these people from where they are is refusing to participate in the political system, meaning you do not fucking vote. Don't vote for anyone. If less than 50% of the people vote, then it is obvious to everyone the government has become illegitimate. The lies coming from CNN, its contributors or contributions are unbelievable at this point. It's hard to believe anyone still watches that shit. Now, I do watch some of their shit because you need to know what the enemy is saying. They have to make this a dark winter a reality in order to convince people that enslavement is their only salvation. Let's see. Oh, yeah, that's way too long. But I do encourage you to check out the Cope. Does some good shit. And look at that buffoon. So, who is this Dr. Rick Bright? He is an ousted vaccine chief. He's going to be pushing for a vaccine. One, he'll make a lot of money off of by forcing everyone to take it. Now, how can it even be legal for this motherfucker to have any control over any policy concerning vaccines if he stands to gain a fortune from it? That is very, very much conflict of interest. Now that we know this propaganda is taking place, at least we can see these people as who they really are instead of the heroes CNN attempts to make them out to be. Bright, in fact, explicitly states that he wants from the American public submission to their enslavement. In quotes, our window of opportunity is closing. If we fail to develop a national coordinated response based in science, and that's the science of democide, by the way, I fear the pandemic will get far worse and be prolonged, causing unprecedented illness and fatalities. Bright is expected to say Thursday, according to his prepared testimony obtained by CNN. Without clear planning and implementation of the steps that I and other experts have outlined, 2020 will be the darkest winter in modern history. So what is it they're going to do? And what happens if we tell them to go fuck themselves? What then? So, unless you obey, you will face a dark winter. And I, like Max Slavel here, I'd much rather face any dark winter than the tyranny they are attempting right now. And I wouldn't say attempting, they are just flat out doing it. Just look around you. In quotes again. The virus is out there. It's everywhere. We need to be able to find it, to isolate it, and to stop it from infecting more people. Bright plans to say, we need tests that are accurate, rapid, easy to use, low cost, and available for everyone who needs them. That means mass surveillance of your every move is coming. This has nothing to do with health and everything to do with control. And again, your Savior wants to mobilize the military to distribute the vaccine. I wonder how much money he has in this. I wonder. You know what needs to be done, my regular subscribers. You know. One more thing here. Just to remind you that I told you that our law enforcement officers in the United States do not act any different than the ones in China. So if you believe these people are heroes, if you believe they are there for your good, you might want to reconsider what your belief is. And you must ask yourself, where did this belief come from? But cops brutally attack mom in front of her child for improperly wearing a mask. Exactly like China. Exactly. In front of her children. Talk about a complete lack of respect for the public. There you go. Still support these people? What will it take? Will it take your grandma being beat down half to death by one of them? Is that what it'd take? Or would you throw her under the bus for your heroes? Now, it's about fucking time the militia did anything. This is from the 14th. Again, I spent years trying to convince these guys that the law enforcement was where the rubber hits the road, meets the road, and before any traction towards a political solution could be made, they have to be dealt with. But this right here, this is going to end up aiding the elitists in their quest to do gun confiscation. Again, when this vaccine rolls out, wrong one, and Trump mobilizes the military, the vaccine is not the only agenda. The confiscation of the firearms from the American people is on the top of that list. Even if they don't say it, that's what's going to be done. So when these people come to your house and start going through your shit and they find your weapons, they will take them. I'm telling you that right now. And that is what their intentions are. I hope you're ready. And again, living in really large groups is one of the ways you can combat this, okay? Really, anything less than that, you're very much vulnerable into the attack from the state. Anyway, I thought I would talk to you all about this today. I hope you have a great Friday night, and until next time, kill the state, live free.